My friends, welcome back to the Follow Your Path channel. If you're new here, super grateful that you're tuning in. And if you've been here for a while, whether you've listened to the podcast or you've been watching these videos, it's amazing that you're here. And my intention with this video is that you take something away from this that's going to enhance your life, right? There's so many other things that you could be doing. There's so many other videos that you could be watching, and you're here. And I really want to honor that. In the realm and the sea of infinite possibilities, you're here for a reason. So let's take advantage of that. Maybe you take a breath in. Here we go. I'm sharing this video for a number of reasons. One of them is to assist you on your spiritual awakening journey. Now, when you are in that process, and you can be at different levels of that journey, there are certain tools that you get to start to remember because it's all in you. These are things that you know, and we're all in the process of remembering again how to use them. And these are tools that are innately part of this experience. And when you recognize how powerful they are, you're going to start to use them all the time. And actually, it's a requirement on this journey to use these types of tools that I'm going to talk about. And you might be looking at the whiteboard right now and wondering, what the hell is that? And I'm going to get into this too, because this all ties together. So, when you start to wake up, when you start to remember who you are, there's this sense of excitement, there's this sense of overwhelm, there's a lot that's going on inside of you, there's a lot of the old stuff from the ego orientation of your human experience, and then there's the soul awareness that's coming in. And it's kind of like this process of the soul consciousness, the truth is just lovingly taking the wheel from the ego that's been trying to drive this crazy human car the whole time. And it's not meant to do that, ultimately. So when you hear people talk about, killing the ego or battling it in some kind of way, you have to understand that this part of you has been trying to keep the ship afloat the whole time. And that's a big responsibility for a small sense of self to deal with the grandness and the infiniteness of all of this, right? So if the soul tries to come in and you're trying to bulldoze and trying to, kick the ego out of the car and throw it in the back seat, it doesn't work like that, because that's going to make it more triggered. It's going to make it more grip tighter, let's say. And when that happens, it makes it way more challenging to make this transformation. So I want to just really anchor in. This is a path of love. This is a path of compassion. This is in the same way that if you rescued a dog that was in an abusive household or in really terrible conditions, you want to be patient with that dog. It's got a lot of fear. It's got a lot of aggression. It's got a lot of not feeling safe and not used to feeling love. Our egos are really no different. It's an animal. It's a wounded animal in a lot of ways. It's our lower nature that has been really hurt before and never had the truth, the light of the soul to shine on it, to start to allow it to feel safe again. Because when that part of you starts feeling safe, when your human starts feeling safe, things go a lot better. This process gets a lot more smooth, and it's not this crazy ping pong back and forth. You don't feel like you're fighting against yourself. You're bringing things together, and that's ultimately what we really want to do. So this tool that I'm about to talk about, this isn't just some, woo-woo spirituality thing that you might find in other places, or maybe you've heard before. There's science to this. There's again that part of you that knows what I'm talking about here, right? Because you're no longer operating on the ground floor consciousness, which is kind of, base level, sort of like kindergarten type of awareness, where there's very little soul intelligence going on. It's mostly lower nature, it's mostly ego, right? So when you're starting to come out of that and you go up the floors and you have that greater perspective, you start to recognize your connection with everything outside of you, meaning the natural world, all the animals, all the insects, all the plants, and people, right? You start to get this sense of oneness and connection with things outside of you, because when you're in the ego orientation, it's kind of all about me, right? And it's self-preservation, it's survival. That's been part of the evolutionary path, as I've mentioned in other videos. We're starting to lift out of that, and when you do that, you start to feel this sense of like opening, like, okay, I'm a part of all of life. I'm a part of this bigger picture that is beyond me. And I live on a sentient, intelligent planet that is also in her evolutionary process that we are a part of. We are all one. I said that in the last video, and I want this to sink in more. Feel that, not just as a concept, but like feel it. You right now, if you're standing on the ground somewhere, or when you go outside today at some point, you're standing on an intelligent, unconditionally loving, sentient consciousness, a being that we refer to as Mother Earth, which is this incredibly nurturing and abundant and beautiful energy that she cultivates, that we would call Gaia Sophia, Mother Nature. And that in itself is a technology, and you know this because you've probably done it before. When you go into the woods and you have your bare feet on the ground, or you're just taking in the aroma of the forest, and your awareness is expanded out into the trees, if there's a river there, if there's animal sounds, if there's flowers, the different colors going on, you start to feel expanded, right? Now, part of what Mother Earth, because we are her children, right? Our bodies come from the earth. These rental cars for this experience, they are created by Mother Earth. And even just saying that, I feel emotion because there's so much beauty there. But we're so disconnected from that. And with these devices and with technology that's emerging, we're getting more disconnected, which is why we feel so separate and we feel lost and anxious, because we started to lose that connection to the natural world that was innate to us as children. So now we're getting to find our way back, and utilizing these tools that I'm about to talk about is a big part of that. Grounding, prioritizing time in nature, so that you can clear your mind. You can take in the negative ions that the earth puts out, the oxygen that the trees offer you, so that you can clear your head. And even just through being conscious and putting your hands on the ground, or having your feet on the bare earth, and saying, Mother Earth, take this energy that's not mine. I release everything that is not for my highest good, any stress, any thoughts that I've been looping on, any energies that maybe I've accumulated from places that I've gone. You just let it, through the power of your consciousness, flow out of your body, and it's effortless. Just imagine it happening. You just let go and just whoosh, and she takes that energy. She desires to take that from us. She wants to see her children thriving on this plane. She wants to feel her children dancing on her soil, happy, joyful, not stressed, not in the illusion of separation. No, she doesn't desire that. She wants us to be conscious stewards of her, and she's very patient with us. She allows us to play out our process, and she gives us this home to have this experience. It's all connected. So let me get into the first tool, and I utilized this the other day, so the example is really potent for me, and I hope that it transfers to you. So I was feeling quite disconnected recently, and I went out into the forest, which was a pattern interrupt for my day because I had other things that I needed to do, but I realized, like, no, this is actually the most important thing. I got to clear my head and I got to get back to the 0 point. I got to get back to the moment. And I know that the fastest path to do that is to spend some time in nature. So I did that, and I started to utilize, I got into a quiet space. I took some breaths. I started to feel that connection with, there was a river there, the river, the trees, the beautiful fall colors that were around me. I said hello to Mother Earth. I put my hand on the ground, connected with her. And then I started to go into prayer. And for me, you might hear that word and different things come up for you. People have different versions of prayer. To me, it's a blend of knowingness and conviction of you as spirit, of you as in connection to all that is, feeling that oneness and that wholeness, and asking for what you need from a place of you are worthy of it all. You are a child of the universe, of source. You are an expression of it. And whatever you ask, it is given. And know that it is given, right? The conviction piece is huge here. So this is exciting to me because I remember when I first started doing this, it really freaking blew me away. When you establish that connection and you go into prayer and you say, life, God, source, universe, whatever word resonates for you that gives you that feeling of that connection, you say, I am ready to receive all that is meant for me. I am ready to experience all the goodness that you have to offer. I am ready to experience all the delight and the joy and the surprise and the wonder and the miracles that you have to offer. Show me. Show me. Make it tangible. Make it unmistakable. Show me that you are with me, that this connection is real. Give me a synchronicity. Give me a sign. And make it happen, right? That is how you place an order. It's not, please, God, could you give me some more money so I'm not stressed? That's like this weird version we were taught to pray as kids. That's what prayer became for people. Like, please help me, I'm a victim. No, that doesn't just even feel that, the energy of that. Please help me. It's so weak. It's so weak. And so it just goes, and it just dissipates into the unified field, right? Conviction, knowingness, knowing who you are, knowing that you are one with all of this. You ask from that place, you command from that place. And some people might have a thing like I used to do around like, oh, well, it might not be okay to ask for this. Commanding feels like I'm demanding something from the universe. There's a difference. Demanding is like this ego, stubborn child that's like, you better give this to me. No, this is, you know that you are the expression of life. You're creating your experience from that place. You were given agency. You were chosen to be here so that you could be the eyes of the universe, right? Having this experience, taking in that information as you, uniquely you. You know that, and so you say, hey, here's what I need. Show me, right? It's a command, knowing that life all around you, the universe is always a yes. It's always in full support of what you command and what you choose and what you put your attention on, okay? So I did that, and I was feeling it in my body. I was like, yes, I am worthy of this. I want to feel our connection. I've been losing sight of that. Give me a sign. Let me see it. Let me feel it. And I just imagined myself laughing because it was so obvious, right? So I did this, and I go for a walk, and I'm just in this very open, intuitive place, right? And I'm enjoying myself, and I'm just in the moment. I'm not thinking about stuff. I'm just like enjoying my walk in the woods. And I don't know, I've never walked this trail before. So I'm like in this place I've never been. I'm walking, and there's a fork. I go right, and as I'm walking, there's sunlight that is just illuminating this bench that's in the middle of this forest. So I walk over to the bench, and on the bench is this laminated sort of like pamphlet, and it's a memorial pamphlet for this man named Richard Stage. And I just was so called to read through this pamphlet, and I just looked at his picture, and there was just something that was like, this is for you. This is for you to read right now. I led you to this. And I read the pamphlet, and there was a poem called All About the Dash. This is why I have this up here. If you look at this, I had never even considered this before, right? We've been to funerals, we've seen, at wakes on the pieces of paper, the birthday and the death date of somebody. I never really stopped to consider this little dash right here, right? This poem, All About the Dash, is talking about what you do between this place and this place is everything. This is what gives your life meaning and significance. That little dash that we would see as a symbol that we would overlook. It's like everything is right here. It's all about the dash. It's all about how you choose to live this journey. It's all about the way that you make other people feel. It's all about your engagement and connection with life. And we have so much conditioning that puts us up in the mind, that disconnects us from all of this, which is why I'm so passionate, guys, to talk about these tools, because at this point in the game, if we're not using them, we are really at a deficit. We are really at a disadvantage if we don't have these types of tools to start using to bring us back and reestablish that connection, because without that, it's going to get very dark, because we're going through such a massive transformation, and there's a lot of people that don't understand these things, and that they're stuck in the little me ground floor consciousness, that fear is going to take over their experience, and they're going to just be creating from that place. So everywhere they look, they're going to see more things to fear, right? They're going to look at the breakdown of the old system and think that everything is going to hell. And these tools are turning into requirements. They're necessary, right? So now that you know about them, I'm talking about them and bringing awareness to them. Of course, it's up to you if you want to use them or not, but I feel like at this point, you gotta, or you're screwed. Like, you can easily get pulled into the collective consciousness around fear, around separation, around survivalism, and we don't want that. We're not here for that. You're here during this time to remember who you are, to anchor in that light, to open up that beautiful light inside of you and shine it, so that you can help others see through the darkness and get to the place that you have cultivated for yourself. So I'm so excited to talk about this, because when you start to go into prayer like that, and you start to know who you are, and you start to experiment, and you say, show me, not please show me, show me. You can feel that, what I'm saying right now. I'm sending the energy to you. Huge difference. You will be shown. You are worthy to be shown. You're worthy of that which you desire. But for the most of us, we're not intentionally creating it. It's the past doing it for us. It's the unworthy part of us that's trying to seek approval and acceptance, that's doing all the creating. And that's what we have to let go of. So I'm reading this thing, and I realized that this man that I've never met before, the way that he touched people, and the energy that I felt when I was reading the description of his life, it hit me so deep. This guy lived fully. He loved the outdoors. He made people smile. He had an impact. He made his dash count, right? And I know for me that I feel like I had spent many years disconnected from myself, many years not living, many years being in isolation, many years being trapped in my own mental prison, and feeling so disconnected from life and limited and not able to have the experiences that I wanted to have, and just cycling through those things for a long time. And when I read this guy's description of his life, it brought me back. It brought me back to how special and sacred this journey really is. And I could see it in his eyes, I could see it in his smile. He was uniquely himself. he had this kindness in his eyes, this demeanor that like he lived life to the fullest. And you are here to do the same thing. I'm here to do the same thing. So it was such a powerful reminder. I had tears coming out of my eyes. It landed so deep for me. And I knew that I had been led because of my prayer to this bench to read this beautiful message. By the way, in the middle of the woods that I've never been to before. Like, what are the odds that a bench is there with that kind of thing? And on the bench, I honored Richard and I said, thank you, man. Thank you for the reminder. Like, your legacy lives on. You've impacted me as a human being when you're not in a body anymore, right? So I'm highlighting this because this is a reminder that, hey, this thing goes by, this rental car, this experience as Sean, it goes by fast, you know? And you've heard that before. We know these things, but we forget because we're in such a fast-paced culture that is always trying to take your attention and put it on shit that doesn't even matter, right? What matters is you knowing yourself, getting to experience life as the real you, as I've said in other videos and will continue to say. That's why you're here. You're here to interact and be with others and recognize the oneness, and it's how you make other people feel, how you impact them. That's at the end of the day when you're entering into your transition period, because to me, there is no death. Everything is recycled. Everything just transforms from one state to another. And when you don't have a body, you're back into the spirit realm. You're back. You go home. That's where you always come. This is temporary. That is home. That's forever. And then maybe, most likely, you'll come back and keep this thing going. Because think about this. Why would we build ourselves all the way up from, the primitive time periods where we're living in caves? We advance ourselves all the way up to this place to start to come back and be able to have the freedom to have this experience without all the labor and doing shit we don't want to do and trying to survive. Why would we not want to come back for the party? This is such a grand, incredible time to be here. And there's a lot of shit in the way of that can blind you from seeing that. But you're going to want to keep coming back. You're going to want to keep coming to build on this thing, right? This Earth School is really incredible when you're not completely lost in the darkness, although that's part of the game too, right? So that tool, just to summarize, prayer, true prayer, conviction, the energy behind it, you're feeling it. Connection to that living, intelligent, sentient being beneath your feet that wants to take the energy that is hurting you and stressing you out, and it will do it so lovingly and easily. You just make the connection to her. You just take a couple of breaths to her with intention. You say, Mama, take this from me. It's not mine. Take it. And she will just imagine like roots coming out of your feet, going down into her, and all that energy just flowing, which then she takes and creates, sustains life with it, puts it into the soil, puts it into other places, because it's all energy, right? And look at compost. Compost is, some people could see it as garbage, trash, but really that's what allows the soil to become super fertile, nutritious, and teeming with life. That's our compost, where it's like you're bringing your compost bucket to the station that you would drop it off and pouring it in, and we're doing the same thing with our energy. We're giving her our compost, which is the stress, the anxiety, the fears, the things that we don't need and hold in our bodies any longer. So those are two big pieces. Connect with Mother Earth, pray from the place of knowingness, ask for what you need, command what you need, and then life gets to dazzle you. Life gets to give you those cool synchronistic experiences like I had. I needed that reminder, guys. I got disconnected. I went away from that. I was up in my mind. I had all these things that were swirling around, and I had some survival stuff going on, and I needed an anchor. And I got that. The prayer was answered. I laughed. I had all these other cool moments with I saw a couple animals that were communicating with me. I hugged a few trees, and they were communicating with me. Like, hey, you're a part of all of this. Like, I just want to say the trees want to communicate with you. Nature wants to communicate. Life wants to communicate with you, but you've got to be open and through your intention, communicate with it, because you are given the agency of free choice on this planet. And so you get to use that the way that you choose. And if you don't use it for that, then it's not just going to come and invite you into it. You have to be the one that knocks on the door. You have to be the one to ask. You have to be the one to give the permission for the divine to flow into your life. And that's the next tool, right? It's recognizing that you're not alone. It's recognizing that you can use the power of your free will, again, to command and ask for what you're needing. And when you do that, also the next important piece that maybe you've seen other channels talk about with, Law of Attraction or Neville Goddard or some of these amazing teachers, you have to know that it's yours. You have to know that it is given, it's already done, and then you don't even have to think about it. You can just let it go. You don't have to stew on it and be like, where is it? It hasn't happened yet. Like, what's it going to look like? That's what the ego mind, that's what the human part of us loves to do. And the spiritual wisdom has to come in and say, that's not, that actually pushes it further away, because you're not in the state of havingness. You're still in lack. So spiritual wisdom cultivated and utilized is like, no, that's not how this works. We let that go and continue on with what we're doing in our life, and put our attention on other places, or just be in the moment. I think this is so cool, because Richard, the way that he lived his life, someone wrote that for him, and then it impacted me on a deep level and helped remind me of what I needed to know. And then now here I am sharing this message with you guys. So this man, the level of impact that he had and then I don't know how many people are going to watch this, but it's like, he could impact thousands, potentially even millions of people, who knows, right? So this is the power that you have, my friends. And I want to send you so much love, and thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for being here, for giving me your time and your attention. I value that so much. I want you to know that. And again, this is such an exciting time to be alive. Use these tools, use them, and watch, experiment with them. Even if you're skeptical, experiment with them a little bit and see for yourself, right? Testing things is part of this. The scientific way is always testing, right? Science and spirituality, they are one. Science is catching up to spirituality, which, by the way, that's everything, right? The science, the human understanding, is getting out of the box that it's been in. This has been going on forever, guys. When quantum physics was first introduced by David Bohm and Max Planck, those guys, they were laughed at. They were ridiculed. They weren't given funding. People were saying that's ridiculous, and they were ostracized. And now look at it. That's the most cutting edge science we have. This is how it goes. And I would say in the next few years, the more we come out of that box and we don't have that logical stranglehold of like demonizing people who are thinking outside the box, we can make massive advancement. And there's going to be a lot of cool discoveries that come because we're doing that, because it can't be stopped. It's already happening. People are shining their light. People are going outside of the box, not conforming to society, not keeping themselves trapped in this limitation game. We're breaking free of that. This is the time for that. So big thanks to Richard. I know that even me just saying your name, your presence is here. That's my belief, is that when people aren't in the body anymore, even just you bringing them into your heart, into your awareness, it draws, at the very least, a piece of them into the space with you instantly, because there is no time and space outside of our linear perception, right? So I hope that you guys received something from this video. This was fun to make. I felt excited about it. It had been on my heart for the last few days to share from when it happened. And let me know, come back and share in the comments if you tested this and your story of it, your synchronicities. Like, share that. Let's all be in that energy of possibility, so that other people that maybe are skeptic can see it and be like, oh, I want to try that for myself. Like, these stories are amazing. They inspire me. So let's use this platform as a place to do that. Or you can head over to my Instagram page and we can interact there. I create a lot of content there similar to this. And I'm going to also publish this as a podcast. So if you're in the car and you're on a road trip, you can download this. You can listen to it offline. So you don't have to see the video part of it. I know that's something that I used to want creators to do. So here I am doing that. And by the way, we're just getting started. If you're watching this, you are just getting started. Wait till you see, if you stay with this a year from now, how different things are going to be, how powerful you are going to become by getting proficient at using these tools, skillful at creating your experience and embodying the real you. That's why I created this channel. That's what I'm here to guide you with and help you with. That's what I do with my clients. And so if you're feeling this and you want to dive in and really go for it, let's work together. I love the one-on-one coaching that I do and counseling that I do. It's my favorite thing. I don't have a ton of spaces for that. So if you're really feeling the call, you can go to my website, you can send me a message, and we'll hop on a call and see what we're going to do. But this is the time. This is the time, guys. Let's go. Team humanity, all one human family. As always, peace within is peace without. I'll see you guys soon.